hard copy or a soft copy. So that is going to be displayed directly on the monitor, or we can print the data or information on the paper also. They are mechanical in nature, they tend to be slow. It is not automated one, it is going to take more time. Main limitation of line printers are what? They can print only one font, that can't print any other graphics. When the output is produced on a paper, then we are calling that as what? Hard copy output. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. Welcome back to the session 3 of chapter 1 in the unit 2 of B.Ca's first semester, subject called Fundamentals of Computers, in short FOC. I am Rohini TS, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Before getting into our today's session, we'll just have a quick recap of our previous session. As you all know that in the last session of this chapter, we had a discussion regarding the input unit, isn't it? We got to know what you mean by input devices. In that we have a keyboard, mouse, scanner, OMR, OCR and MICR. Along with this, we had a discussion regarding the joystick. That got over with the input devices and how each input device will going to work. So in our today's session, we're going to learn what do you mean by output device and what are the output devices we have. We have a monitor, printer, speaker, plotter, and also we have a projector. So all those are the examples of output devices. We'll see output devices one by one. First, we'll see what do you mean by output device. First, you know output unit. Collection of one or more output device is considered as what? Output unit. Then what do you mean by output device? It's a data, when the data and instructions are fed into the computer. So we are feeding a data and information to the computer by making use of input devices. So once it is fed into the computer, notice the next step, that is processing. Once it got processed, then we have to display the resultant. In order to display that resultant or a results, here we have a output devices. The output may be displayed on the monitor or printed on the paper. So whether it can be hard copy or a soft copy. So that is going to be displayed directly on the monitor, or we can print the data or information on the paper also. The output which is displayed on the monitor is called soft copy output, which we are having as a output in the form of monitor, which is on the monitor, that is soft copy. When the output is produced on a paper, then we are calling that as what? Hard copy output. This output devices or a output unit will going to connect the computer to the external world. Input device is what? External world to the computer. This output device from the device to external world. This is what the basic information you need to remember. So here you can see the different output devices. So here we have a monitor, printer, and also we have a speaker, plotter, and also we have a projector, plotters. So all these are the examples of output devices. Amongst that, we're going to concentrate on the monitor as well as printer. First we'll see with the monitor. If I say monitor, TV comes to your mind, or television kind of things comes to your mind, right? That is what monitor, most commonly used output device it is, and we are calling it as a display screen or VDU, visual display unit. And also this monitors are connected to the computer are similar to the television set, which is somehow look like a TV itself, and it is also going to display an image, text, any of the character, number. All are going to be displayed by making use of this monitor. And also how we are going to recognize, or what do you mean by this pixel in the monitor? That is what smallest dot that can be displayed on a monitor is called pixel. When we have more number of pixel, at that time the resolution will be high. If the resolution high, then the quality of the image is also going to be high. That is what pixel, the resolution of the monitor is going to be determined as a quality of the display. That determines the quality of a display. If you see this image, that specifies the quality of that image. So when we have more dots, when we have more pixel, at the time quality will going to be increased. Fine. So here you can see some of the popular resolution, that is what 640 into 480 pixel, 800 into 600 pixel and 1024 into 768 pixel. So when the number of pixels are high, at that time the quality will be high, resolution will be high. If the resolution is high, as well as quality will be high also. So then what are the different size of monitor we have? So we are going to measure the size of a monitor diagonally. What is its inch from the top left corner to the right bottom corner. So with the diagonal we are going to find its size. It can be 12 inches, 14, 17, 19, 21. So nowadays we have more number of inches in the size of a monitor. And here also we have a different types of monitor that include CRT, cathode ray tube monitor, which was used in the early age, and LCD, that is liquid crystal display. And also we have a TFT, thin film transistor, and now we have a LED, that is light emitting diode. So these are the different monitor that you can see here. CRT monitor, LCD monitor, LED monitor, and also we have a touch screen monitor, and then UHD monitor along with a LED monitor. All these are the different kinds of monitor which we have. Fine. We'll see the next one, that is printer. Why do we require printer? To have a output as a soft copy, then we require a monitor. Then what if I wanted to have a output as which needs to be produced on a paper? Then we require, or when we require a hard copy as a output, at the time we require this printers as well as plotters. So printer is an output device that print text or image on the paper. So in order to print the text or any of the image on a paper, then we are going to use this printer as an output device. And also we have a different kinds of printer which is mainly based on its speed and printing quality. Based on that criteria, we are going to have a different kinds of printer. Amongst that, mainly we are going to concentrate as a two types. One is impact printer and another one is non-impact printer. If you consider the impact printer, again we have line printer and dot matrix printer. Those are the two types of impact printer. And in the non-impact printer, we have a thermal printer, laser printer, and then inkjet printer. First we'll see about the impact printers right now. So in this impact printer, it is going to have some striking capability. It is going to strike on the paper. When it is striking, at that time printing is going to takes place. So here that impact printer includes the printers that print by striking a device against ink ribbon. So in this ink ribbon, we are going to have some colors. When that striking to that particular inked ribbon, at that time the image or a text will going to get impressed, or that impression will be going to be there on the paper. And impact printers use a print head which is containing a number of metal pins. So at that time it will going to have a number of metal pins which strike on the inked ribbon, which will going to be striked on the inked ribbon which is placed between the print head and the paper. This inked ribbon is placed between the print head and the paper. At that time, by making it as a strike on against that inked ribbon, the impression or a data or any of the character or image will going to be produced. And as you all know that already, line printer and dot matrix printer which comes under this impact printer. So we'll see its characteristic, then it will be easy for you to understand what about this impact printer. So here there is physical contact with the paper in order to produce an image. So in this we are going to have a striking mechanism. That striking mechanism has a physical contact between the striking head as well as to the paper. Then it is producing an image or any of the text. So due to being robust and low cost, they are useful for bulk printing. So we are going to use this impact printers in order to have a large amount of printing, and also mainly it is ideal for printing multiple copies. So we are going, when we wanted to require multiple copies of a same data, at the time this impact printer will be used. Why? Because they can easily print through many layers of the paper. So when you wanted to have a multiple copies at a same time, then this impact printer will going to helpful. So when we have a striking head which is against that inked ribbon, at the time impression will going to be keep on copying for one or other layer. That's why we can have this multiple copies at the same time. And also, due to its striking activity, impact printers are very noisy. It is going to make very noise or sound while producing the output, and they are mechanical in nature. They tend to be slow. It is not automated one. It is going to take more time. And also, impact printer do not support transparencies. That is the main point. It is not going to support any transparencies. You can't see through, or partially or fully you can't see through what it has been printed. That is what transparencies is not there in the impact printer, and it is measured with a character per second. How we are going to measure the speed of this impact printer? With CPS. How many character per second it is producing? Based on that, we are going to check its quality or speed of a impact printer. If the CPS is more, then the producing speed is also going to be more. We'll see the first type, that is line printers are very high speed printers capable of printing an entire line at a time. It is going to print one complete line at a time. So here you can see the example of this line printer, and then a line printer can print 150 lines to 3000 lines per minute. This is also specifying its quality, how many number of lines it can be produced per minute. That is what we are representing here. And main limitation of line printers are what? They can print only one font. That can't print any other graphics. It can print only one font at a time. We can't change the font. That is main drawback or a limitation of this line printer. And quality is also low. Along with that, they are very noisy. Why? Because it comes under impact printer, as well as striking mechanism will be there. That's why it's noisy, and can print large volume of text data very fast when it compares to other printer. But we have one more advantage when we compare this line printer with another one, dot matrix. At that time, this is going to produce a large volume of text at a time. And also, it is also used to print on multi-part stationaries to prepare a copy of document. So, this line printers is used in the most of the stationaries to have a multiple copies of same data. That's all regarding line printer. Next, we have a dot matrix printer. This is considered as what most popular serial printer. Why? Because it creates an image using a mechanism called print head. So, in that print head, mechanism is used in order to produce a image or any of the impression on the paper, which contains a cluster of short pins which is arranged in one or more columns. So, that columns or a head, what we call, that is having a metal pins that is arranged in a one or more columns. So that particular column is going to produce an image by striking against ink ribbon. When the pin strikes the ribbon, they press ink from the ribbon onto a piece of paper. When the pin is striking on that ribbon will going to produces the ink. That ink ribbon will going to have a connection or a physical contact with a piece of paper. On that piece of paper, the impression will going to be given as per the pin strike. And then the more pins that print head contains, the higher the printer's resolution. So when we have more number of pin, at that time the dots per inch will going to be very high. If that is the case, then the resolution of a printer will going to be high. That produces a high quality image. So here you can see the example of dot matrix printer. Next, here it prints one line of 8 or 14 points at a time. So it will going to print one line of 8 or 14 points at a time with a print head moving across a line. So that is going to be produced. This is one of the mechanism. Strike head, that mechanism is used in order to produce. Moreover, it is slow. And also it's noisy. Why? Because it's impact printer itself, and the printing speed is around 50 to 500 character per second. Per each second it has the ability to produce up to 500 character by striking the head or a pins against the ink ribbon. Fine. Then it is going to use multi-part stationaries in order to use the copies of document or to prepare a copies of document. So these dot matrix printers can also be used in the stationaries in order to have multiple copies. Fine. This is all regarding what dot matrix printer as well as overall impact printer. Next, we'll see about the non-impact printer. If it is impact printer, then there will be a physical connection between the paper and the striking head. But if it is non-impact printer, then it will not going to use any striking devices. Fine. That is main difference between the impact and non-impact. The ink or semi-solid ink is stored in the printer cartridges and flow of ink is controlled by the processor. We don't have any striking devices or a moving part in this non-impact printer. That moving or movement of ink or flow of ink which is stored in the cartridges will going to be handled by the processor, and much it is going to be faster than the impact, and then which can print, color and different sizes with different fonts. That is main importance of this non-impact printer. We'll see the characteristics of non-impact printer here. What is the first one? It does not make any contact with the paper. There is no striking mechanism in this non-impact printer. There is no communication between the paper and striking head, and also they possess the ability to change the typeface automatically. So font face and typeface can be changed in a non-impact printer, but not in the impact printer. And these printers produce high quality graphics. The quality of the graphics will be higher in this non-impact printer, and this printer usually supports the transparencies. So you can see through partially or fully. So whatever we have print, that can be see through the paper. That is what transparency, which we can have in this non-impact printer, and we are going to measure its speed by dots per inch. In short, that is DPI. How many dots per inch it is producing. If the DPI is more, then the resolution will be high. If that is the case, the quality is also going to be high. The speed is calculated by the number of pages per minute, that is ppm. We are finding the speed of this non-impact printer in the terms of ppm or pages per minute. And also the size of printing will going to be varies from one size to another size. That can be A4 sheet, A3, A1, A2, A0 and also jumbo size. So on all these sizes, this non-impact printer has an ability to print different colors, different images with different size as well as font too. So these are the characteristics. And also in this non-impact printer, we have a laser printer, isn't it? We'll see about the laser printer here. It uses a laser beam. As the name indicates, laser printer will going to use a laser beam and dry powdered ink to produce a fine dot matrix pattern. So this laser printer is using laser, along with that it has a dry powdered ink. So with the help of those two, it is producing or it is representing some of the text or images, and it can produce very good quality of graphic image. With the help of this laser printer, we can get this high quality graphics images, and they are available as both color and black and white printer. So you can get both color and black and white printer. There also we are going to have a laser beam with a powdered ink, dry powdered ink, and also laser printer print one entire page at a time. So from one printer to another printer, the ability or its efficiency is getting high and high. So first we were thinking about a line, next we were thinking about number of lines. Now we are thinking about what? One page or entire page at a time. That capability is there for this laser printer, and typically faster and have better quality output that we can expect from this laser printer. And also one of the main important characteristics is what? That's resolution. The resolution and its quality is very high in this laser printer. Resolution in the sense what? That is how many dots per inch they lay down. For particular inch, what is the number of dot it is printing or producing. Based on that, we are going to find its resolution, but that resolution is high in this laser printer. Then the available resolution range from 600 dpi at low end, which is what a smaller version. That is what the minimum value, 600 dots per inch is the minimum range, and up to 2400 dots per inch it can produce as a higher end. And speeds for personal laser printer range from 15 to 13 pages per minute. Per minute, it has the ability to produce up to 30 pages. That's all regarding laser printer. Next we'll see about the inkjet printer. In this inkjet printer, How it will going to work? It uses a cartridges which use CMYK color. So CMYK in the sense what? Cyan, magenta, yellow and K represent a key. Usually we are going to use black as a key most often in order to create the color tones. By making use of this CMYK color, we are going to produce an image by making use of this inkjet printer. So cyan in the sense what? That is somehow transparent in color, aqua color I can say, and magenta is somehow looking like pink, and we have a yellow and K is key. That key is most often black color it will going to represent, and a black cartridge is also used in order to have a monochrome output. When you wanted to have a black and white output, at the time black cartridges will be used as a K here. And inkjet printer works by spraying ionizing ink at a sheet of paper. From one type of printer to another type of printer, you can see what is its mechanism, what they are using in order to print an image. So here we have a ionizing ink. In the previous one, we have a dry powdered ink. Here we have a ionizing ink which is going to be spread on the sheet of paper. And also magnetized plates in the ink spout which is directing the ink onto the paper in the described shape. What is the shape or what is the output that we are seeking for? That will going to be guided by this magnetized plates which is in the ink path, that is going to direct the ink in order to produce the seeking or which is we are looking for the output. That is what inkjet printer. And also it prints one line at a time. Print quality is very high and also somehow speed is slow. Typically it's about 100 CPs. So it is going to print 100 character per second. Okay. After this we have a thermal printer that is also comes under this non-impact printer. So that is going to work based on the heat. That is what thermal printer. Fine. And we have a plotter when you wanted to produce a large amount of data, and like for example flex, when you wanted to produce a flex as an output, at the time we can't use printer. We have to go with a plotters. And also we have a speakers. Speaker will going to produce a sound as an output. And also we have a projector. Projector is going to produce a resultant on the large screen. So those are the different types of output devices which we have right now. So in my coming session, we're going to see about the computer memory. What is computer memory? How it got classified? We'll see each one of those things in my coming session. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.